Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Firstly, I would like to introduce my group mate first. My name is Muhammad IFHAM bin Muhammad FARIZAD. My matrix number is 2020-613846. My second group mate is Muhammad HAZIQ bin Muhammad AZHAR. And next is Muhammad AMIR bin ZULKEFLY. And lastly is Muhammad AIDIL HAZIM bin ZAINUDDin. We would like to present two main article summary that we need to summarize. The first article is about self-esteem, organizational, citizen behavior and commitment among university students. The next article is about effectiveness of a smoking cessation program of self-esteem, attitude, perception and practice regarding control over smoking among male high school. Me, Muhammad IFHAM bin Muhammad FARIZAD, and also my friend Muhammad HAZIQ bin Muhammad AZHAR, we would like to explain and discuss about the first article. There is self-esteem, organizational, citizen behavior and commitment among university students. The next slide is about table of contents. There is 5 content we would like to explain and discuss. The first one is about introduction, the second one is about objective, the third one is about discussion, fourth is about suggestion, and lastly is about conclusion. The next slide I would like to explain is about introduction. The author has introduced the self-consistency theory to explore self-esteem as a determinant of student commitment to their university, and to explore the mediating influence of organizational citizenship behavior on the direct relationship between self-esteem and commitment to their university. According to the self-consistency hypothesis, individuals will be satisfied with behavior role that maximize sense of consistency. As a result of chronic or situational self-esteem, the person with more incredible self-esteem is motivated to maintain a good self-perception and perception to approve a task with self-perceived competence in the following ways. This study adds to the research on self-esteem and university commitment. For example, the current study adds to the body of knowledge and commitment by on educational environment. Second, study has focused on the function of self-esteem in promoting student, and also this study built a previous research by looking inside self-esteem and the commitment necessities of student. The next slide is about objectives. This article purpose was motivated by two main factors. Firstly, compared to world organization, there has been little scientific research on the significance of organization citizen behavior in academic setting. Second, after more than a decade after Oplecus claimed that there is a little study on the organization citizen behavior in the context of education, most attempts have slanted in favor of administrators and faculties, meaning that the organization citizen behavior of students within the higher education setting has been ignored. Next, there are early studies on the organization citizen behavior and self-esteem, considering that there has been several demands to expand the area of OCB study, particularly in higher education. This article also fill in the blank by analyze whether organization citizen behavior mediates the link between the self-esteem and also commitment to their university. And lastly, one of the university essential objective is to educate students for their future careers, student job and the organization where they will work with benefit from.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad HAZIQ bin Muhammad AZHAR. My matrix number is 2020603352. So I will continue the presentation for this article 1, which is for the discussions, comment and suggestion, and the last one, conclusion. Okay, for the discussions. The study aims to investigate the relationships between SE, self-esteem, CU, commitment of university, and OCB, organizational citizenship behavior among students in a higher education environment. As a result, the authors used structural PLS modeling to validate a set of hypotheses and a sample of 354 students selected using the convenient sampling technique. Self-esteem, or SE, was found to be positively associated with OCB, confirming the findings of previous investigations. This means that students who have a positive self-perception in regard to their studies are more likely to engage in behaviors that meet not only their own needs but also the needs of others and the university as a whole. These students are more likely to take proactive measures to prevent conflicts with other students and emphasize their good attitudes and behaviors. Students in this study revealed that commitment and OCB had a significant positive reciprocal relation. According to the study, students' OCB has a significant role in determining their willingness to be dedicated or loyal to their university. This finding adds to the scarce extant literature indicating OCB is a relevant attribute in promoting student commitment to their university, an intriguing relation that warrants more examination. The following significant and exciting contributions to the higher education literature have been made by the study. Furthermore, empirical evidence indicates that a large self-esteem is linked to student academic achievement, social and personal responsibility. This self-esteem, on the other hand, has not been adequately empirically validated. The direct link between SE, OCB, and CU of higher education students was investigated in this study, adding to the higher education literature. The study demonstrates that there is a correlation between student SE and behavioral variables in an academic setting, including OCB and CU. According to the findings, if administrators make an effort to increase students' SE, they will believe they are significant, worthy, and valuable to the university community. This decision should motivate professors to urge students to seek SE development for both short-term academic benefits and long-term career impact. As a result, classroom-based session programs aimed at increasing positive students' SE should be encouraged. For example, lecturers must be taught on emphasizing students' positive actions while also creating realistic targets for them to work toward. Okay, that's for my discussion. So I will talk about the advantage of self-esteem. Okay, if, there are two advantage of self-esteem. The first one is you can be yourself, and the second one, you can accept disagreement. Okay, that is for my advantages. So we move on to the next part, which is comment and suggestions. Okay, for comment and suggestion. Okay, for my comment, students must have good self-esteem for a number of reasons, as it affects nearly every aspect of their lives. Not only does good self-esteem improve academic performance, but it also strengthens social skills and the ability to cultivate supportive and lasting relationship. Okay, for my suggestions, there is more we can do to build students up than just providing them with meaningful feedback. It is important for students to have healthy self-esteem both in and out of the class. Here are my suggestions to support high self-esteem in students. For the first one is focus on the positive, and the second one is encourage students to find things they like about themselves. Okay, for the focus on the positive, we need to lead students by example and demonstrate what it looks like to forgive ourselves for mistakes and appreciate our strengths. They will see that self-worth should be determined by good traits rather than shortcomings. Focusing on the positive doesn't mean we can't ever give negative feedback. It just means we should praise most often and give negative feedback sparingly. For the encourage students to find things they like about themselves, point number one for my suggestion. Some students need to be prompted to state things they can do well and things they feel good about. We will be surprised at how many students with low self-esteem have difficulty with this task. For some, we will need to provide prompts. This is a great beginning of the year activity for all students and an exercise that anyone can benefit from practicing. Okay, that's all for my comment and suggestion. So we move on to our last part, which is conclusion of the article 1. Okay. Okay, for the conclusion, the authors have concluded that the current study put to the test a model that examines OCB as a mediator between students SE and CO. According to the study's findings, students SE positively predicts both OCB and CO. Additionally, students OCB positively predict CO. The authors also discovered evidence to support the claim that OCB mediates the relationship between SE and CO. Accordingly, the university should do more to encourage students to participate in OCB. Tactically, this intentional move expectancy will ensure students' attachment to their universities. Furthermore, high SE individuals are opinion leaders, socially active and highly linked in their communities and possess voluntary personal attributes, so their praise carries a lot of weight. The university administration must look for such students and engage them in their OCB and commitment drive. Cross-validation of the reported finding is encouraged by replicating the study in different nations and various higher educational environments. So that's all from me for the Article 1 presentation. So we will move on to the Article 2 presentation, which will be presented by my group members, AMIR and AIDIL. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Amir bin ZULKEFLY. Me and my friend Muhammad AIDIL bin Kamaruddin would like to discuss and explain about the second article, which is the effectiveness of a smoking cessation program on self-esteem, attitude perception, and practice regarding control over smoking among male high school. Next slide is the table of content. In this article, we would like to explain 5 content areas: introduction, objective, discussion, suggestion, and conclusion are all parts of the content. Next slide is about the introduction of the article. The author have introduced that smoking is still a leading cause of death and illness in the United States. In 2017, there were an estimated 1 billion smokers worldwide, with more than 7 million fatalities attributed to smoking. According to a poll of Thai teenagers aged 15 and over, frequent smoking began at the age of 17.8 years and became a habit at the age of 19.5 years. Smoking caused 15,737 Thai individuals to die of lung cancer, coronary heart disease, and emphysema. According to literature evaluation, the behavior phases of change model has been used to help people quit smoking both in the United States and internationally following the stage of transformation. Smokers were classified in individual preparedness and need assessments. Most research on smoking cessation programs that used the stage of change was done on both individuals and group of smokers. However, there is limited research on integrating both in the IMB skills and the stage of change models to construct a smoking cessation program for male high school students. Next slide is about the objective of this article. The purpose of this paper is to see how beneficial a smoking cessation program is on male high school students in Thailand's Ubon Ratchathani province self-esteem, attitude, perception, and practice about smoking behavioral control. The quasi-experimental study involved a smoking cessation program with a high school student intervention group. The control group consists of male student smokers from a school that was similar to the intervention school in terms of demographic. 3 times, both the intervention and control groups were interviewed. The difference in the means for smoking behavior among male adolescents before and after program implementation was set at 0.63. There were 35 students needed for each group. All participants in each group remained throughout the 24 weeks of the study. The quantitative result used the principles of a competitive immunoassay. The testing kit has a 98% sensitivity and 99% specificity rating. The result can be read by observing the color code after dropping urine. If the result is positive, the students had been smoking, and if the level was over 200, then they had not smoked recently.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is MOHD bin ZAINUDDIN. My matrix number is 20202183992, and today I want to talk about my article. My article is about effectiveness of a smoking cessation program on self-esteem, attitude, perception, and practice regarding control over smoking among male high school. My task is about discussion. The evaluation of the smoking cessation program for male high school students was done under 6 primary components, namely intrapersonal choice of spot, self-esteem, alternatives to smoking, the secret methodology of smoking cessation, counseling, and also moral support. Next is the mean difference in self-esteem in the intervention group was considerably higher than that of the control group at the end of smoking cessation programs, which is consistent with many research including Kim's, who investigated the effects of self-esteem and smoking cessation self-efficiency improvement program on smoking high school students in a quasi-experimental study. According to Coppersmith, who analyzes how the process of establishing self-esteem must produce activities for a person to have an experience, such as self-survey activity, self-worth activity, and self-growing procedures. These practices are vital for establishing long-lasting change in behavior. Next is promoting awareness of cigarette danger and empowering advising the subjects or the activities that increase negative attitudes toward cigarette smoking. These processes are correlated with the process of behavior change discussed by Prochaska, who said that consciousness raising supports a person to have more concern about the cause and impact of behavior that make the effectiveness of problematic behavior change. Next is comment and suggestion. My comment about this article is students should be more aware of their own self-esteem and should be aware of harmful behaviors such as smoking, which is extremely harmful to our health. To avoid any element that students may encounter in the future, the issue of smoking among students should be taken seriously. And my suggestion into this article is school authorities should create a program called Why We Shouldn't Smoke. In that program, school officials can discuss the dangers of smoking so that students are more informed. And second, parents Parents could also play a role in this by advising students who are considering or are currently smoking to refrain from doing so. Smoking is not healthy for our health because it causes cancer and other diseases. In conclusion, the authors have concluded that the smoking cessation and smoking behavior programs aided male high school students and encouraged high school students to give up smoking. This program was based on the IMB skills and phases of change models, which influenced male high school students' self-esteem, attitude, perceptions, and practice towards the management of smoking behaviors, as well as nicotine levels in their urine. Last but not least, according to the study, the cessation program did not significantly influence the difference in cigarettes smoked per day between the intervention and control groups. However, as the period is extended, the smokers' behavior and perception regarding smoking may alter, affecting the smokers themselves. As a result, schools and parents should pay closer attention to children to spot the onset of the behavior and potentially prevent it. That's all for me. Thank you.